Howdy friends. So today on Flossy, we're going to be making the first fresh pieces of steel to go on. I'm going to start out doing the transmission tunnel, get that fabricated up, and then move on to getting the driver's side floor pan installed. So we got a cool update with a lot of stuff accomplished in this video, so y'all stay tuned. I left this intact, but now I'm starting to think maybe it's too rough to reuse. So I'm already going to have to rebuild this entire side and all of this and a lot of this. So by the time I do that, it might be easier to just make all new. So what I've got going on here, I don't know if I'm going to stick with this. I'm going to leave that intact for now, make up some metal, see how it fits, and then go from there if I'm actually going to use this or not. But I spent a little bit of time making some cardboard template. Go in there. Let me get different lens here. Oh yeah, baby. So that actually fits in there pretty good. So I just kept measuring and cutting and then getting that to fit. So now I have this. Go lay it out flat and get the right dimensions I need and transfer it onto some metal. Alright, so I got this cut out to shape with cardboard. Then took my cardboard and I know that there's where it bends good. I got that placed up in there, which actually isn't aligned good enough, so I'm gonna readjust it. Now, I got it just clamped between two chunks angle iron on my workbench here, and just gonna pound it down to somewhat of an angle. So here's where I'm at right now. Got these bent up pretty good. Actually matching the factory stuff really well. Not perfect, but hey, it'll be good. They look good and they're really close to how it's supposed to be, so I'm gonna roll with it. Next thing is I'm going to need to get it formed right that those two can meet up with each other. So I'm gonna probably overlap a little bit and then weld so these are one piece. So that's what I'm working on right now. Just get them hammered out so they match. And I also gotta flatten, do another bend here to flatten, get that out flat like that one is. So I can put my floor onto there. You can see also this side I had to make that trick little bend there. So I just grinder sliced. So that can overlap and they can bend in that angle like that, and then I'll have to trim that excess and do a weld along that. All in all, it's coming out pretty good. It wouldn't be a project without a little bit of bloodshed. Alright, I got grinder and cleaned up rust and paint along areas where I'm going to be welding. So now I'm going to take the handy dandy Papa flange-o-matic and I'm going to try to do a flange along here to try to get these more evenly aligned when I do the overlap, and also just go along and pop out some holes for spot welds. So we're going to get this rolling. spot weld. So I'm going to continue that all the way along. I already got that flange done, so I'm just going to continue spot welds all the way along here and get her all good. All right, we got that all cleaned up and holes punched in it, and I think it's good enough. I'm just going to sand it and get some weld on it. So let's do it. Haha, look at that. Not finished completely, but got enough weld started that is actually getting really robust and pretty solid, so not too shabby. I am going to have to fill in there and here, just because I had to, in order to get the angles and bends right, I had to cut, and it bends and pulls away, so I just have to make some filler pieces and do that. But all in all, it's not too shabby. I'm so pumped. I'm actually getting some fresh stuff made up, actually getting new stuff put in. This is so cool. Also, not too shabby for my first real sheet metal welding project type thing. So, one-handed is it. Alright, see if that fits in. Oh yeah, baby. So, I did that on purpose. Better have extra than not enough, so measure that good and get that cut down. I can cut off some excess on that flange there, and I like it. It's cool. So it's actually fitting and actually looks pretty good. I mean, I'm pumped. Guess what, folks? We don't need a Flintstone Jeep. That was way back in the 60s or whatever when they made that show. We don't need that. So we're actually going to cut a fresh unit chunk of steel and fix it. So we got our nice sheet of fresh 16 gauge, and we got, y'all can't see the lines in the camera because they're fine scribe marks, but it is mapped out. Hopefully my math is mathed right. No El Cutto. Alright, folks. I'm such a genius this actually cut out. Actually looks pretty cool. Now, the moment of truth. This is true. First try. Okay, this isn't like TV. That's a bunch of fakers. This here is real life. Now, already taken into effect that this has to be bent and this is longer, so it won't technically fit flush just yet. It ain't bent yet. I can't see y'all anymore.
Hey Jake.
Yeah.
Why don't you put it on from this side? And then it fits flat.
Okay. Going on from this side. Not too shabby.
Cool.
A little bit of trim in there. That's about an inch longer than it needs to be. It's better to have extra than not enough. That's just my hot news. That's gonna look so cool once that's completely in there. It doesn't need the assistance of me to hold it up. Alright, I got that chunk of 7/8 tubing, and I'm gonna chop off this end on a curvature to fit for my rock slider type deal. Test fit. Shisha. too shabby at all. A little bit more trimmage on that corner there, but that worked good. Gives me something. This is actually the correct thickness fit underneath this lip on the factory rocker, and then be the perfect height. I can lay my floor piece right on top of that and spot weld right along there. Gives me something that's really solid to attach the floor to, and also doubles as a rock slider. So I'm gonna get that cleaned up and ready for welding. So working on this floor pan, see how that angles up like that? Cut out this bottom like inch or so because it was all rusty and junk. So I'm gonna make that bend right there, bend it up, and then overlap on this lip here with some spot welds. So get y'all on a tripod. Got the floor pan here. I already have it marked off where I need to bend, and tripodify. Angle iron on the edge of my table. Sheet metal, which to be bent. Another chunk of angle. And all right. Now we can hammer. I like dead blow, so it doesn't mark up or dent the steel. Just hammer it down. Good news is that bend is a 45, so if I grab my speed square right here, I can actually check it against my angle iron and get it a 45. So I looked out with being an easy angle. Just a rough test fit and mock up, but oh man, that looks so sick. I'm so fired up right now. Sweet, got that. My rocker fitting good. You can see my 16 gauge, that'll be perfect to just spot weld right along there and spot weld right along the floor riser. So cool. First time seeing Flossy without being able to look through the floor. It's just so cool. That bend turned out beauteous. It's not fitting right up on there because of this trans tunnel. I left too much excess down here that needs to be trimmed. That's why that's splitting, which is making that not line up. But once that's trimmed and that gets pulled flush down here, it'll fit perfectly. And first try on the bend too. I had it on that jig y'all saw in the time lapse. I hammered it, I pulled it off, I set in here, and it fits. I got the holes punched in this panel for spot welds. Just marking where they are on the tub, so I know about how far to clean this paint off, and then I'll punch spot welds on this also. Come around to the other side in here, so we can weld both sides together. Weld from this side and weld from the inside. So I just got those marked, so when I punch spot welds on this panel, I don't have two spot welds on the same spot. Beautiful. Should be pointed strong enough. Okay. That should be plenty. Holes are all punched out for spot welds, and I can't think of anything else that needs to be done before that goes in. It's all cleaned up and really good. So I just flap disked around those holes and made a cool stripe kit. It's a monumental moment right here, man. ain't that something? I need to go grab more clamps. That's looking sick. So now, folks, it's all clamped in good, so we can get the welder hooked up. So excited. Oh my Atlanta. Check out how sick that looks. So freaking cool. Finally see some stuff accomplished on Flossy and some fresh metal going in. That bend there turned out great. We got this rock slider bar in place and all welded up. So it's looking fabulous. And it's nice and solid. That patch, we'll get that patched in the next update. These two, some of the first spot welds I did, and playing with the settings and had it messed up so they didn't really stick, so I just beaded that, but no one's really going to see that. Come around to the inside, and oh, I finally have a place to rest my feet when I'm driving Flossy. This is so cool. Spot welded all the way along, right on that bar, and along the front. Doing that bar there gives me a rock slider, and it gives me something solid to weld to without having to bend sheet metal and make fancy 90-degree bend there. And we also got the transmission tunnel. Not done, but it's close enough. I'll probably be installing this in a later update. So we'll get to that later, but yeah. I'm so fired up right now. It's finally taking shape. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next week.